team, we're pretty much all up here. We had Nick who was here for one of the days, so if you met him, you would see him, but this is who we are. Right, so what are we about? Quikwords. Well, basically we're a game. What we wanted to do is we thought we're playing around with HTML5. Let's see if we can do games, because that's a very interesting part of the whole process here. But what we really want to do is address the fact that what we want to create are more social games, which are not just social in their name, but actually social in their nature as well. So fundamentally, that's what we want to do, a group play word game. First, we just want to talk a little bit about the market. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the market, the global gaming market is massive. It's 17.4 billion is what we've got down as one of our stats. The social gaming market globally is about 6.2 billion, which in itself is a very big part of gaming, and that's increasing at a very, very fast rate. So if anyone's got any doubts, this is a very, very big market that's growing very, very quickly. Here are a few examples of some social games, and we're not talking about necessarily the farmers of this world, but here if you might recognise them. Anyone want to shout some names? What are they?
Bambi.
Kill Bambi.
It's not
The Words with Friends are here, yeah, good. We've got draw something there as well. Great, okay. The only issue with these games is that they get lots and lots of people in, but they die off very, very quickly, and that's a big problem. So what are the reasons? Well, one, limited by internet connection, you have to be connected all the time to play. You've got one-on-one play all the time, which isn't really all that social, as we were saying before. And there's a lot of waiting around for results to come back, and that's a problem. So basically what we want to do is create it. Firstly, the simple version of the game is to create a higher score. You can play it instantly, and it will sync up your game with the results of everyone else, and that's a big benefit, and you can compete on the leaderboard. So now I'm going to pass it on to Robin, who's going to talk us through the rest.
So this is our journey that we went off. We started with Carol Vorderman, and she took us on a great experience, including changing the name from KWK to QIK. Sketched it all out, had huge ambitious plans, what would be great, but decided that we should probably stick with a really cool basic version of the product to share with you today and talk you through what we think will be in the future. So this is Quikwords, which you can see here on the screen with a bit of reflection, all built in HTML5. So if we want to play the classic version, I get set a combination of words and my timer's already started, so I need to get cracking. Can't really see a word, it's really tough, so I'm going to shuffle. Ooh, things are coming up quickly. Running out of time, I'm probably going to play Fig because I'm intellectually challenged and submit it. Cool, so I got 5 points and it took me only 20 seconds. Where did I come on the leaderboard? Okay, so these are the team that I'm playing against and I'm doing not particularly well, so never mind. Next game. That's the kind of overall leaderboard, that's the kind of basic sentiment of it. You submit your scores, try and get the highest score, and you compete against other people. So in terms of the bigger plan, actually, what will this app end up becoming? Inherently, it's a social game. We want people to behave socially with it. So if you get a great score, you can challenge your friends. You go, look at my score, you play this round, what did you get? It's completely hooked into all of your social media feeds. So you invite people within your Facebook group. Like if you've got a group existing, you start playing Quikwords with them, you build it in, you share your scores with them, you post up your leaderboards, you're spreading it as fast as you can. You can play with people within Quikwords. So if I'm by myself, I can play with the existing community and compete against them, or I can compete against the people that I choose to, which could even be on a location basis. I can pick people in my building and decide to play in a group with them. And as it says, we're all playing together and we're all going for the rank. So that's the basics of the product. Manny's going to tell you really quickly what we used innovatively from HTML.
Right, there's been a slight mistake. The core source system of JavaScript, but we used most of the basic CSS and JavaScript functionalities that already exist. We also used HTML storage, which we couldn't hook into the product because we couldn't get to that point. But that was one of the important HTML5 features that we used.
They're all there, they're all brilliant, it's a fantastic product. So how are we going to monetize it? It's a freemium, we'll have a pre-service, a premium one, it will be added features, you won't be served ads, and you'll get things like customization of your display, picking the kind of rounds you want to play. You'll be able to buy credits, like blank tiles, to give you better scores, ask for extra letters, micropayments, and we'll also do partner-sponsored rounds, so you can get a car manufacturer sponsoring, and you've got to try and find words to do with their brand. Who are we targeting? People who love competitive banter. Basically, everyone likes to use their social feeds to boast a little bit about themselves, so they're always competing with people. I'm a little bit better than you. Look where I went for dinner. Look how well I scored in football. I'm slightly better. So we're getting people to game each other, bring the challenge on, slightly beat each other, and post and get people to share that. We'll start by launching it to advocates. There are classic people that we want to target with this, Scrabble players, Countdown fans. We've already submitted it to the HTML5 gaming website, and we're posting it throughout Facebook on these groups. Get people interested. We're going to target mums because they're 40-year-old women are the key gamers. Do a takeover with net mums to get it sponsored by someone like Persil. They get a discount from Persil. Plus they get to get addicted to Quikwords and go for university and school alumni, get people playing with people that they used to hate because they used to be smarter than them, but now they're better at Quikwords, so that's cool. But the key to this is spreading it socially, and so inherently in the product, it is a social product. We allow people to share what they've got really quickly, challenge people socially, and get people to play in groups.
So that's us. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take some questions.
Would you plan to do different languages in the future?
Absolutely. The idea actually is, different languages, but also what we really want to do is create different games that have the same backend. So you've got the same communication going on throughout. People can basically the game is not the real product here. The real product is trying to compete against, WhatsApp, BlackBerry Messenger, i.e. something driving the communication, driving the conversation with your friends when you don't have much to talk about because you're living different lives. For a lot of guys, they spend a lot of time playing games together. A lot of people like to just have something to interact. And so we'll have different languages, different games.
If I get my arms kicked with Quikwords, I can...
You can beat it with a numbers game. Yeah,
else.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. That's the entire idea. And then hopefully, maybe in the long term, maybe even bring other games onto it as a platform. So that's a longer term plan. But right now, we wanted to just show you can make cool games in HTML5 and they can be very social.
We talked about your revenue models there.
Sure.
You've got a freemium, but you've also got this sort of buy tiles thing. How's that going to work when you start playing somebody and you've no longer got a level playing field with your friends because you've now bought 3 tiles?
Yeah, well, so we thought about this, and I think the way that you do it is, for these games, there are actually 5 games in a set. So if you do play a wild card, you can only play it once in a set, and basically it introduces that element that other people can also play. You might get a little asterisk after your name on that round to say, okay, this guy got the cheeky way in. But that will fundamentally, there are quite a few different things that you can do. I mean, it might even be something like timer extension, a few different ways to play it that way, and also maybe even just enhancing the games. So after 5 rounds of when you're playing Quikwords, after 5 rounds of that, you might get a conundrum, like the countdown one where you have to guess one word, 9 characters, and whoever gets it first wins, and that's an add-on. So there's a few things that you can play around with on that side.
What are your next steps on figuring out if people want it, what's right about it, what's wrong with it, and building a user base?
So we created this literally from start to finish in the last couple of days. What we want to do is get this out to HTML5 gaming websites. And what we're going to do is do a lot of split testing, a lot of A/B testing to see, well, what happens if we change it from 1 minute to 2 minutes? What happens if somebody gets an extra couple of letters? Do people switch off? Really start to understand what's driving the game. Fundamentally test our value proposition. Because we're fairly confident that the growth proposition is going to be strong just because the game growth proposition doesn't tend to vary that much. Once we've got that done, we take it out of that, polish it up into a very strong iOS game first, and push that out and see how that works. So that's the next step.
And does, from an acquisition standpoint, you guys mentioned viral acquisition and some other stuff, which I'm sure you've got down. What other distribution acquisition channels do you see as key for that?
In terms of the distribution channel, so what we want to do is, as Robin mentioned, try to bring this out into a lot of the alumni situations and trying to get it out to quite a few hobbyist locations, such as people who enjoy playing Scrabble and the like. But fundamentally, if we really build this out as a communication tool, then that's going to be a big part of what's going to drive it. And I think that's where a lot of the other games fall down quite a bit. The other thing is that with a lot of these...
So should I be thinking like WhatsApp onboarding when you say communication tool, or what's a good analogy?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So what we want to do is similar to WhatsApp, be able to tap into your that in order to see who else is already playing these games. Because one of the big things with a lot of these, as we said, a lot of these games, you have to be connected all the time. But this is a great discovery tool as well, because what will happen is it will know who else is playing the game. And even if you haven't connected to them as a friend, it will show up on your leaderboard because they're closer to you. And the way that works is if somebody played a game 2 weeks ago, it will still download the information about what their score was. So if you're playing on the train, no internet, or you're playing on an iPad and you've got Wi-Fi only, you'll be able to see, well look, these are all the other people who played this same game. And you'll feel like you're connecting with them and playing with them in real time. That actually they might have played it before. And so you can really connect with loads of people. And that's the idea.
Thanks.
Okay. Last question. Let's go with Andrew.
Yes, what is the difference of your app with an app that's called Scramble with Friends?
Sure, there are a few things like Scramble with Friends, Words with Friends. But as we said, one of the key things that with those sort of games, especially a lot of them are one-on-one. In fact, most of them, if not all of them, are one-on-one games. And secondly, they all require an internet connection. And thirdly, they're not chat-centric. So they're not actually based in order to create a community tool. So they often, I'm playing against one person, I have to wait until that person's taken their go before I can take my go. And chat is not integral to the actual game. This reverses all three of those things. So you're playing one against loads of people. You can get instant gratification for your results. You know exactly how you've done against other people straight away. And social is integrated throughout the actual app itself, so you're constantly communicating with other people.
Okay.
Great. Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
very much, guys.
Cheers.